Look at the, oh yeah, I'll look at the Steam Deck now before I forget. Is it something people are excited for or no? Do they have like an announcement trailer or how does it work? I guess I'll just do this one.
Valve's portable handheld PC has been revealed. It's called the Steam Deck. Let's get started
The
off
thing's
with number
insane.
10, and of course, talk hardware and some of the specs. Custom AMD APU. The CPU is
This
Zen
means
2 with
nothing to
4
me.
cores and
I don't know what
8
any of it
threads
means.
and 2.4 to 3.5
We already
gigahertz,
finished it, Walrus.
Up to 448
Next resub Delver.
G-flops. The unit,
Why
this is, of
skip?
course,
I don't know what any of that
serve as
means.
a mouse when you need
It
it,
means
along with
nothing
your
to
standard
me.
Trigger buttons, face buttons, joysticks.
I don't know
all
what
that. It also has
G-flops
4
are.
Programmable buttons in the back, similar to how some pro-style controllers have. I know what you're probably thinking. You're looking at the placement of the buttons and you think, yikes, this thing looks like a messed up Sega Game Gear that looks way too chunky and uncomfortable. We're just gonna have to wait and see. The jury's out. This layout is actually
I actually
to the
wasn't
Wii
thinking
U
that.
gamepad from back a minute ago. As much as I wasn't the biggest fan of that hardware, the feel of that gamepad controller wasn't too bad, so if it's anything like that, it's okay, I guess. This thing is a portable PC, yes, but the core hardware is technically not upgradable at all.
Oh,
but
fuck.
you can add a micro SD card. There's a slot for it, and you can run games off of those, so presumably, you could add up to another terabyte of storage if you're willing.
Is
to pay up for
handheld
that.
gaming
There
that
are plenty of
popular, though?
reasonable priced SD cards from
I feel like if you're gonna
32
do
gigs to
handheld, you
500,
just play
whatever
mobile
you want,
games.
so don't worry, you'll probably be fine. Now over at number 8, let's talk what we know of graphics, and some of this is speculation in terms of what the actual hardware specs are. And
Okay,
what
cool,
they've
so it's
shown
not
us.
just me that
We
thinks
do
it's
know
kinda
that
dumb?
The way it's going to work, all normal graphics
Exit resub
options that
Queen
you get
and
on
Prime
PC games
Corrupt.
are going to be accessible. It's going to work like playing any other PC game. You have a bunch of settings you can mess with. They may not be compatible, obviously, but still, you have the choice to push it as far as you want. The website for the Steam Deck shows Jedi Fallen Order playing, and apparently it's set to high graphics settings, which is pretty impressive. A couple of websites have said that they've been able to see this in person, and it does look like it performs pretty well.
It's
They also show it running
$600.
Control, interestingly enough, which is available on Nintendo Switch, but it's stream only, working to
It's
generate
400.
real
Okay,
graphics
well, it's
for it.
definitely better
Next,
than...
over at number 7, we got to talk about the operating system. So this thing uses Steam OS, which is based in Linux. It runs Linux natively, but you can easily install Windows instead if you prefer, according to Valve. Ecosystems and the hardware and devices that we buy are open access and let us do whatever we want. Shout out to Valve for that.
That sounds
Now,
a lot
via
more
Shack
Convenient.
News, apparently, you'll be able to play Windows games that don't have official Linux support on
Thanks
this
to resub.
machine, even if you don't install
Name
Windows.
Noah.
We don't really know for sure, but
Hope you had a
apparently
good time
it has a lot
at
to
work,
do with
Ramon.
Valve's Proton software, which is kind of like this Steam OS compatibility software, which they said has, and I quote, vastly improved.
This really just
It's
seems
also
like
worth
another
noting that the
iPad, like
OS
an iPad
has a
competitor.
Suspend resume function.
What
Reiterated that a
am
couple
I
of
wrong about? How is it not like an iPad? You get to do anything on the internet, right? He was just saying it's basically just a little handheld PC. So it's like an iPad, right? What am I not understanding? So it's like an iPad, but this one has good games. You can't do shit on iPads, right? Which is why I said it's like an iPad, but you could do more on it, like games. What am I not understanding? Switch, but for PC gaming. No, it's not though, because you can go on the internet and everything. They just said it's like a little portable computer. So it's not just like a Switch. Yeah, they literally just showed that you can do anything on it that you do on a PC. So it's a little handheld PC. So it's more design conceptual-wise like an iPad, where you can use it as like a hub for doing shit. But here you get to play games, like actual games. So it's like a tablet with a good gaming option. Unless I'm wrong. Like, I haven't finished the video, and this is the first I've seen of it. Can you not do everything a PC does? You're wrong. Okay, explain. What am I not understanding then? More like a Microsoft tablet rather than an iPad. So you're literally just arguing semantics because it's not like an iPad because it's not Apple? It's the same idea. It's the same principle. Okay, so I can see, I see what's going on with chat then. Now I get it.
On their website, and we're really excited to see that in action. Now over at number 6, let's talk network and connectivity. When you buy this thing, it comes with a power
Here's
adapter,
resub Azure.
a carrying case, and the device itself
Calling
is
it an
gonna
iPad
weigh
substitute is missing it
1.47
massively.
pounds.
I didn't
Now,
say
in
that.
Comparison, the Switch weighs
Said it was like an iPad because you get to
88
do
pounds
everything that you would do
attached,
with like
so
a
it'll
computer
weigh
in your hand.
almost double what the Switch
According
does.
to
67%
number 4 or
heavier.
number 8,
That's still
wherever he
pretty
talked about
light if you want to just talk about carrying heavy hardware things. But we've tested other PC portable devices
was
like
it?
this in the past, and That's the elephant in the room. These things are going to be heavy. They have to have fans in them. They
Christ,
have to
where is
move
it?
air. There's a lot going on in the chassis, so for now, we have to deal with it. Also, Valve is going to be selling a dock to allow you to connect to a TV or a monitor, a keyboard and mouse setup, an Ethernet port, anything you're really
somewhere
looking
here when
for,
he was
but
going
that'll be
through
sold
that.
separately, and right now, there's no price or release date. But according to Valve, any off-the-shelf USB-C dock will also work, which is pretty sweet. Tip of everybody's tongue, of course, is the battery life. So it's got a 40 watt hour battery, which according to Valve offers between 2 to 8
It's
hours
nothing
of
like an
gameplay,
iPad. It's a
depending
Microsoft
on
tablet,
how
which is
system
basically a
taxing
better
the game
iPad.
is. You know, depending
Yeah,
on
it's
how
nothing like an
graphically
iPad. It's just a
intense the
better
game you're
iPad.
playing. Valve says
Got
that
it.
the battery will last up to 8 hours
Okay.
during, and I quote, lighter use cases like game streaming, smaller 2D games, or web browsing. Now down to number 3, let's talk screen. This is a 7-inch screen. It's 720p native resolution. It's 60 hertz LCD touchscreen.
It seems like
It
such
has
a useless
ambient light
thing, though.
sensors to adjust the screen brightness, which is pretty much expected by now, and it has a 16:10 aspect ratio. The exact resolution.
If you're gonna get this,
is
why not just bring a
1280
laptop?
by 800.
It's way too
So
big
now,
to be
while
like
some people might
super
hear
portable.
that and freak out and think it's not good enough, because it is a small screen, you won't really notice too much of a difference. And what you're getting as a trade-off is games not having to run on a crazy 4K monitor, so it's less intensive and hopefully it'll save you some battery life. In the
Oh my
description below,
God,
it's
is
really
that
worth
Gabe
watching.
in right
Also,
now?
Shout out to Gabe for now looking like a cool wizard. Also, very important to note,
He
Valve
de-aged
isn't the
himself
first to
40
make this
years.
type
He
of
looks much
device.
better.
They didn't invent this thing. There are other machines
Maybe there is
out
something to
there,
that
like
handheld
the
gaming.
Neo, the GPD Win 3, stuff like that. Although we prefer to see how Valve, you know, having their big, massive company budget, like how far they can take this. Hopefully this device will have less compromises, but let's wait and
Thanks,
see.
Resub Trekkie.
Now down to number 1, let's talk pricing, baby. It's available in December and there's 3 different SKUs. So the 64 gigabyte version is $399 US. The 256 gigabyte version is $529, and the 512 gigabyte is $649. This version also features an anti-glare etched glass screen. It's worth noting that the lower $399 model storage is in the eMMC format, which is slower than the NVMe SSD.
Seems like you would never want to buy
with the more
64
expensive
gigs since he's
versions.
playing
They
Steam
all come with a
games.
carrying
Everything's
case, but
like
apparently the
15,
most
20 gigs
expensive version,
each.
the 649 version, is going to come with an exclusive carrying case and a virtual keyboard theme. Now, the way to get your hands on one of these, you're going to be able to reserve any one of these.
Still
at
better than the
1
Switch, though.
PM
That only came with like 10
EDT
gigs.
on Friday, July
Piece of shit. You can only have like
16th,
2
which is
games
done
on it
through
without like
Steam.
a
Now, an interesting
third-party-
requirement, you actually
or
have to have made a
not
Steam
third-party,
purchase on the store
extra hard
at some
drive.
point before June 2021 to be eligible to reserve one on time. If you haven't, then it makes you wait 48 hours. It also requires a
Here's Resub Alex.
$5 deposit. The initial shipping is only for the United States, Canada, the EU, and the UK, with more regions coming in 2022. How you feel about those, whether or not you think Valve is up to the task. Do you like that button layout? There's a
Seems like a really fucking dumb idea. Sounds like something they cooked up 10 years ago and just finally started getting it going, but now it's too late. There's not really a Switch craze because it's handheld. It's just the games on it, I imagine. Seems dumb. If you were gonna get that, you should just get a laptop instead. Do you play your Switch in handheld mode? I've never once used that in my life. A lot of yeses, so maybe there is a market for it. I've also never once out in public seen anyone using a Switch ever in my life since the entire history of that game's lifespan. I've never seen a kid, an adult, or anyone on it, but I see them always playing games on their phone. Atari made a new console.
Another thing I would also...
Oh, is it a podcast talking about it? Well, what the fuck is it? Is it a console or is it some kind of like bundle that they usually do? A lot of bad, uneducated takes coming out of you tonight. Because I called it similar to an iPad in theory. It's what made sense to me. You browse the internet and you play games in the palm of your hand. Sounds like a tablet, but a useless one. And then me saying I've never seen someone playing Switch in handheld. Like, I don't know what you want from me. I'm sorry, I haven't seen any kids playing the Switch outside. Jesus Christ. Do you work for the Steam Deck or something? Good lord. That was a pretty stupid thing to say. Yeah, I guess it was dumb that I haven't seen anyone playing the Switch outside. I'm such a fucking idiot. How could I be so fucking stupid not to see it in person? It's so dumb. Such a dummy. Jesus Christ. This is why gamers have such a shit reputation. I've seen Tin Kids playing on the Switch, Charlie. It's hot. It's fucking hot. You're dumb. Rough. Well, I'm gonna go take a piss. This is getting me tilted. Thanks to Tier 1 Wavy Tree. Last time I watched a gaming-related video on YouTube night,